Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. This is your girl Hourglass Hair Hustler, and in this video I'll be showing you guys how I install and style one of our 10-inch lace frontal wig that is provided by my salon, Glamour Girls Beauty Bar. Before I started recording the video, I braided her hair down in 8 cornrows going straight to the back. I chose this method because it makes the wig lay really flat. And once I was done with that, I put her under the dryer with the got to be gel and the stocking cap. When she came from under the dryer, I cut the excess stocking cap from around her edges. Once I was done cutting the stocking cap from around her edges, I had to go back and cut the excess cap from around her hair. And I use a pantyhose. I don't use a stocking cap because to me with the pantyhose it does better with the ball cap method. Once I was done with that, I had to go back and cut the excess stocking cap from around her hairline and the back of her hair. Usually if I'm doing a full lace, if I was doing a full lace, I would put the got to be gel around her entire head. But being that it was just a frontal, you only put it in the front, and then I cut the excess stocking cap off of her hair because I really didn't need that much because you were only going to see the front of her head. Now this is how I achieved the ball cap method. I used the black got to be gel and I put a little bit on the tip of the comb and I blow dry it, and I do that around the entire hairline. Next, I cleaned her hairline with 91% alcohol to make sure it was free from any gel and makeup because the glue would not stick if I didn't clean it. The next step I did was applying the HD concealer on the lace of the wig, and I did that to make sure that it blends with her hair, and I chose a color that was closest to her skin tone. Ooh, excuse my ashy hands, y'all. I know my hands was very ashy, but it was cold and my hands was in water a lot. After I was done with that, I placed the wig on her head, and I like to use, sometimes I cut the lace off before I start, sometimes I don't. I just do whatever I feel like. But with new wigs, I prefer sometimes to keep the lace on, and I go back over it with under the lace with a white pencil because I marked it out to see where I'm going to put the glue. Wherever I have the pencil at, I stop the glue there. I don't go past the pencil. The pencil line is to mark out where the glue is so I would know where exactly to stop. So because once you put that glue down, it's very hard to remove it. Before applying my glue, I use 2 coats of the Bold Hold Skin Protect. Next, I use the same concealer to put on her scalp to give it an illusion of a scalp look. And I just put a little bit on the brush, not a whole lot. Next, I applied 3 thin coats of the Bold Hold Max glue, and that's their new glue, and I love it because you don't have to use a whole lot and it dries really fast and the hold is really strong. Once the glue is dry, I like to use a comb and press the wig down into the glue. Then I go back with a blow dry and a comb and I do the same thing, press it down into the glue, and I make sure that the blow dryer is on cool. I use cool air, and I just pretty much press the entire hairline down just to make sure that it's glued down really well. When I tell y'all, my wigs are not going anywhere because once I'm done with that, I go back again and I use the blow dry on cool and I press it down with my hands. Then I like to use the She's Balm, the wax stick. I don't know if that's what they call it, but that's what I call it, wax stick, and I put it on the hairline. And then I go in with the pressing comb and I press it down really good. I like to press it down good because to me I can see if I need to pluck it or not. Sometimes you may need to pluck it some more, so once you press it out, it'll let you know if you need to pluck it, especially with colored hair or blonde hair. Sometimes you can pluck it and you still need to go back and pluck it, so I like to do that. Once I was done making sure that her entire front was glued all the way down and the wig was secure on her head. And I was finished with the shears balm and the pressing comb. I went ahead and I parted the middle of her hair. Y'all, I am really bad with middle parts, so it takes me a while. I have to keep parting to make sure that the part is straight, because most times when I do it, the part is not in the middle. But once I was done with that, I used the pressing comb to press the part down, because I like a really flat wig. I hate to see wigs that are not flat and looks like it has a hump in the top. So I go back with the shears balm and I flatten it out really good. Once I was done with that, then I went ahead and I cut the lace off. Once I was done with it and I got done with everything, make sure everything was laying flat, I cut the lace off. And I like to use either a razor or a eyebrow archer to cut the lace. I used to use scissors a while back, but then I realized, to me, when you use a razor, it's not as blunt and it lays really good and it looks really natural. Once I was done cutting the lace off and making sure that everything was secure, I went ahead and I used the comb again just to make sure that the edges are laying flat, because sometimes after you cut the lace off, you may have excess lace in the front that need to either be glued down, where you can use the tip of the comb, put a little bit of glue on the tip of the comb to glue it down, or sometimes you have to cut the excess lace off. So I went back around her hairline just to make sure that everything was secure and it wasn't no lace that was out of place or any lace that needed to be cut, because that is very important, especially when you want that melt look. You have to make sure that every piece of that lace is laying down really good in the glue. Yeah, I know I do a lot of different steps, but this is just what works for me. And to me, it makes the wig last a lot longer in the head. I like to go back with the Got To Be spray and the blow dryer on cool with the comb and just blow dry the hairline, just to make sure that all of the lace is laying flat and none of it is sticking up. When I'm done with that, I use the piece for the pantyhose and I tie it back down. I tie it down while I'm flat ironing and styling her hair out. I tie it down to make sure that everything is laying flat. And then once I'm done with that, I remove the pantyhose from around her head. This was a 10-inch wig, so I had to cut it into a bob. So I went ahead and I used my peanut clippers and I cut it into the bob. And once I was done with that, I went ahead and I did pluck her hairline. Well, not her hairline, but I did pluck her part out a little bit just to make sure that it was clean. And then I went back with the concealer and put the concealer in the middle of her part just to clean up the part and make sure everything was straight. Once I was done cutting her hair, I just basically bumped the ends of her hair. I didn't have to flat iron her entire head again because I had already flat ironed it before I cut it. So all I had to do was go back and lightly bump it. And I don't bump it a lot because I don't like to see bobs with the big deep bump under bump. So I kind of slightly touched it with a flat iron just to give it a little slight bump at the end. And yeah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much the entire style that I did. Once I was done with everything, I did go back and touch the top up with the pressing comb just to clean up anything that I had messed up from me flat ironing her hair, and that was it. That was pretty much the end of the bob and how I achieved this look. You guys let me know what you guys think about my video. This is like my 4th video that I've done, and I haven't done any videos on YouTube in a really long time. But my goal for 2020 is to do more videos and post more. I'm trying to post at least once a week on my YouTube. So your feedbacks are welcome. Just let me know what you guys think. Let me know how I did on this style, and if you have any tips or anything that you think that can be useful for me, just let me know. Y'all don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and let me know the next video that you would like to see me post to YouTube. And thanks for watching.